Today I'm going to upgrade my drill press table, and the upgrades I have in mind are going to make drilling operations much faster and a lot more accurate. Let's go. There are many features that will make this table a game changer in my workshop. This is just some of them. I'm going to be using 20mm thick plate for the tabletop. With it roughly the size, I need to skim off the rust and flatten it. I'll flip this plate around, both sides are flat and all the edges are square. I now want to bore this out, and I want to bore it out with a step. This step will accommodate a replaceable insert that can be drilled out. I want to drill fixed ring holes in this plate, and I want to drill about 40 of them. Now these are the tool operations I need to go through. I can stay on one hole and work my way through each of these tools and then move to the next hole, or I stay with one tool and work my way around all the holes and progressively move through them. That's going to take time to precisely move the table for each and every hole, so I think that's the slower method. Plus I'm using a keyless chuck, and this mill has a spindle brake. Those two together make drilling operations really fast. I'm going to opt for lots of tool changes as opposed to lots of table moves. I want to put a fence on this table, and to lock it down I want to put a T-slot in this side. When I got this mill I was lucky to get a 90-degree head adapter with it, and it's absolutely perfect for this application. Okay, it's time we look at how the table is actually going to mount. So I need to cut out a bit of stock for this. I'm going to start by roughing this down, and then I'll make an adapter plate to go on top. It's this marking and measuring stage that I hope to eliminate with this table. And that will go on there. I'll set this up to have a nice, it's got a nice alignment pin. I'm just going to take that out. I'm a bit out of practice. I accidentally dipped the tungsten a bit. Heatsink's bloody hot. Okay, I'm very happy with this. It's nice and rigid on the drill press. I made up this blank to go in the middle, and it's a replaceable drillable insert. And if it gets too worn out, I can replace it. I've also put this in. I've milled this pocket and installed a ruler flush with the surface. The 0 point is in line with the centre of the table. To make drilling operations faster and easier, I want a fence. This fence can be moved back and forward, and using the ruler I can quickly position it. I'll use a T-style clamping bracket like you'd see on a decent table saw fence. This will mount into the T-slot in the side. So step 1, I need a T-nut. I'm going to try and make most of this T-nut in one setup. The part is clamped with a lot of stick up to enable access to the top and all the sides, all in the one setup. It makes operations very accurate and very fast. Now I'm just going to flip this over and deck this off to the right thickness. Now I want to bracket the clamps on here. And it is solid. This moves my entire drill press rather than the fence. I have an issue with this fence. The large corner radius means small stock sits further back than the front face and makes my scale incorrect. So to address this issue, I'm going to bolt on some flat aluminium stock. This is now rock solid and rigid. It's not going anywhere. This cover enables me to drill really thin stock if I want to, without any error. Now I'm stealing an idea from woodworking tools. I'm adding some flippy stops that come over the top.
You just need some stops that flip down from here.
So I'm at a stage where I'm almost ready to assemble this. I've cold blued a lot of the parts. I've decided not to cold blue this table. I'm just going to use some spray wax instead. While I'm at it, I'm also going to spray wax the underside of the sliding rail. Table's waxed, time to put it together. I've got all these nice scales for reference. They aren't necessarily correct right now. Every time I move the table height, I'm going to lose that reference. So I've come up with a system. First of all, my drillable insert needs removing. Running right through the adapter, I've installed an injector pin in here. This is captive in the table, it can't escape. And this is extremely satisfying. I've got a secondary piece that goes in here. This is a very snug fit. And that's it. Now I just need to change my insert back. Done. In case you're wondering, even if this fence is crooked, the moment I tighten it up, it'll nicely self-align. So the scale's always correct. Let's test this out. And I want 4 holes all on the centre line. 10mm from the end, 30mm from the end, and 10mm and 30mm. 4 holes I'd normally have to mark out. Not anymore. I saved myself 2 minutes marking measuring on this part. Big deal. If I had 10 of these to make, that's 20 minutes. It'll add up with every single part I have to make. This drillable insert is deliberately loose and deliberately round. It tends to spin when I drill into it, so it doesn't just completely chew out this hole. That means this will last a lot longer. Not only is this table slightly bigger than my old table, I can also unbolt this and use this as a pallet on the mill if I wanted to. I like what this table can offer me. Being able to quickly drill parts is handy, but all the tapped holes let me clamp a large part down, or I could even bolt down extended outriggers so I can drill much larger parts than I could have safely done before. It's really awesome. Don't forget, if you want plans for this, I've got them on. Blah, blah, blah.